I was there to sell insurance to the church. They had a new department for the church. So I was in charge of that department. So mine was to move around in the churches and sell insurance. And where do you begin? You begin home. So I began, first of all, by moving not all, but in most of our deliverance churches. I went there, but I was going there as Joyce Gazirimo, the insurance agent. So normally I look back. So I had a good relationship with our pastors. They knew me. And now when they were even hearing it's Joyce getting married to Bishop Mark, and they'd ask the Joyce of insurance. And, for them, because I already had a very good relationship with them, majority of them, were very happy for me. I'm talking about now, especially the pastors in our church. It was exciting for them. And I believe now I look back and I know God had prepared that for me. Those 2 years selling insurance, it was not just insurance. God was introducing me. God was introducing me to the deliverance church family, and especially the pastors, so that now when I come in now as the first lady, the wife to the bishop, there is already a rapport. They are not getting a stranger, from just somewhere out there. And now in my church also, I had been an usher since I got into the church, which was 2005, I was the head usher. And I'll say this, when we are serving the Lord and we are serving his people, let's be faithful and let's love the people of God. Love the people of God and serve them faithfully. I can say on this show, and I can say it from the bottom of my heart, in my ears when I was an usher, I served the people of God and I loved people to the point where when I was getting married, there is not one person, and now even I'm talking generally now, let me even go beyond the house of bread. Now, let me even talk deliverance church. There is not one person I could pick at that point and say we were rivals. There is not one. I had served these people. So now when God came in and, elevated me, let me tell you, and those who are from House of Bread, and I know they are watching, they are here, and they can say, whether what I'm saying is the truth. The day the bishop announced in church, because he's the one who announced, I am marrying Joyce the usher. The day he announced that, the church service came to a standstill. The service could not continue for hours as people celebrated. It took them by surprise. And there was just jubilation. I had served these people. I had loved on them. But even as I'm saying that, there are few here. After we came back from our honeymoon, we had a big number leave the church of the single ladies. So there were those who
people left the church, singles.
There was an exodus of some sort. But since there was nothing personal between us,
before his experience,
but I remember one day now I'm married and all, and we meet in town. The way I'm walking like this and they're coming down and I see her, I recognize her, I know her, and I'm smiling and I'm stretching out my hand to greet her, and she turned. She left me hanging like this. So I'm wondering I didn't even know. But I remember later sharing the story with the bishop, and he says, don't worry, she was one of those. So we had a few of those, but generally speaking, God, I believe, had even prepared these people. And he allowed me to serve in that position. I served them. So even today, I think people feel they want to serve me. I had been serving them. Even these pastors had gone to our conferences. When I went to our conferences, I didn't go to the conference to sit down. The way you go sit down with your note. I went to serve. So I was there serving. And I say, you serve the ministry. The ministry will serve you one time. Serve the ministry. The ministry will one day serve you. And so people received me. They received me well. And I believe it's God who had prepared them to receive me. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Reverend Joyce. You are so matured. you are so matured as a Christian. From the time I started engaging you on this show, I see a lot of maturity. What you have said is very true. I have been in ministry for myself for many years. Even before we came to Kenya, I was ministering in conferences. Even when I was a single lady, I was a conference speaker. As a single lady, I was a conference speaker. I was speaking in crusades. Wow. And I was speaking in marriage seminars. Yes, as a single lady. When they are doing marriage seminar, I will speak. Even this coming Saturday, I'll be speaking in a global marriage seminar of students we left each other 30-something years ago.
Wow.
We left each other. We finished school in the 80s, 90s. I left school in 1989. I left a campus and I graduated in 1989. We have an alumni scattered all over the world. This Saturday, I'll be speaking to them on marriage.
Wow.
And I'm sure God built me over the years as a leader. Even when I was doing all those things, I didn't know I have a global platform to address people.
No.
But I was just simply loving people. I just simply served people. So what you're saying is very true, that when we find ourselves in the service of the Lord, the way we carry ourselves is very important. And you said you can't think of anybody you fought with in Deliverance Church. Very important.
Can I add on that, Mama? Just to hold you there. You know, like you said, let's be faithful. Let's serve God faithfully. And because this is a keep it real show, allow me to say this also. Ladies, especially ladies, if you're listening to me, walk faithfully in church. Be faithful and walk in righteousness, walk in holiness, walk in purity. Don't, in church, things are happening. Evil, let's call it, not just things. Evil things are happening in church. And there are times that people get to do those things in hiding, thinking and knowing nobody will know. And it is true, maybe nobody will ever know. But let me tell you, you do not know what God is planning for you, because I can say this confidently. When I look at my life, I looked back, and it's all by the grace of God. I'm not saying I'm that good. It's the grace of God. But I remember thinking, when the bishop now proposed and he's paraded me there to say, this is the lady I'm marrying. And a thought crosses my mind, and I always wonder, suppose I had been running with a few men.
Correct.
And we had kept it, let's say, a secret, and for sure nobody had ever known. And I always think they would be looking at me there, standing there, and Bishop is, very happy to introduce me. And they're thinking, that one. But let me tell you, not one could have stood. One to say, I know that girl, not one. So excellent. I tell them, you have no idea. Walk in holiness, walk in faithfulness, in righteousness, serve the Lord. You have no idea the plans that God has lined up for you in future, and you do not want to shortcut. You don't want to, because it would have been such a shame, And I know, even for me to be standing up there in front of the congregation, I would have been feeling something in my spirit. But I stood there knowing nobody can accuse me, all for the glory of God.
Excellent. And as you're speaking now, you did not also know those years that one day you'll be on a global platform like this to be talking about your life. So, assuming that your life had compromises, you can't even have the boldness to be on this show, because you need to tell us, because it's keep it real, you will say, well, then I slept with one man, but God has forgiven me. You can't even say that. That's why Paul talks about having a conscience void of offense towards God and towards men. There is something you call a conscience that is void of offense towards God and towards men.
Amen.
You are in the church fighting with everybody. The day Bishop brings you up to the podium is the day the board of Deliverance Church would have resigned. Some of them will resign, or they will tell him to resign and take you to start a new church, because They can't afford to have somebody with no reputation, somebody that is fighting everybody in church, somebody that is gossiping around everywhere, somebody that has no integrity with money. Maybe in the department you give money, the fellow steals.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how can this kind of fellow handle millions of church money? It's not possible.
Remember, I was an usher all these years.
Correct. We are not. Imagine if you were picking. Correct. So I think, brethren and people, even if you are not brethren, ladies and gentlemen, this show is for everyone. Today in the church, I was talking about investment. Everybody wants to see profit after you've invested. God wants to see us behave like God's people because we are his investment. So wherever you find yourself in life, ensure that you live as an epistle, written and read by all men. Written and read by all men.
I like that.
I'll say, I am a living epistle, written and read by all men. Not just by God, by all men. All men means believers and unbelievers. Everybody is reading me. So you don't know how God will visit you tomorrow. So you live a peaceful life. Wherever you are, live a life of good reputation, good conduct, a life of integrity, void of offense towards men. You don't know where God is taking you to. Now, Mr. Timothy Odiambo is saying, never get desperate for marriage. This is a minister of God in RCCG. He's advising people, never get desperate for marriage. It can be a loophole for the enemy. Wait on God. Your faith is critical. So you wait on God. Don't be desperate. Keep serving, and God will meet you where you are serving. Before I go to the last segment that will take us just a few minutes, I just want to remind you, share this. Share this. I have been told we are over 400 in Facebook. I want you to make sure you share. Let the whole world see what God is doing in Nairobi, Kenya through Keep It Real show. Then don't forget my prayer meeting with you tomorrow, 8 p.m., the house of Obededon. Then don't forget next Sunday, the Cheggers, they will shake our stage on Sunday. Don't forget. All right, Reverend Joyce, one final question before you give a shortened part. You came into a marriage that have grown-up children. Bishop children are grown up. I remember the daughter, either the daughter or son, I attended the wedding on Lenana reception.
I was there ushering. It's the daughter.
You were there ushering.
I was an usher, 2011.
Correct, 2011. See how faithful you were. You were faithful to the point where you even served in the bishop's daughter's wedding.
I was working that day, but I took time off the morning section to be in the service so that I could go serve. I remember I was serving the section where the pastors were, and then I think about their reception because I had to go back to the office. But I attended that wedding because let me tell you, in all my years when I ushered as an usher in a House of Bread, I attended all weddings, all weddings. And I went to serve, not to eat, not to serve. So that one I was there.
You know, God is just.
Yes. God
is just. Despite your age, you didn't feel bad when others were getting married. You didn't feel bad.
I knew my time would come.
You know your turn will come. So you rejoice with those that were rejoicing. And that's my principle for life. You rejoice with those that are rejoicing. Let me just hold on a bit in the issue of how you're dealing with the children. There is something that I almost forgot. Thank God I remembered now. Just a little rewind back. I want to say something. You said after Bishop married you, there was a mass exodus of singles from church. Now, what does that tell you? That most people that are in church have wrong agendas and motives. Because this also shows one of the reasons why maybe God is not answering prayers the way God's supposed to answer. This is not the first time I'm hearing this kind of a thing. There is a man of God in this city that, in fact, there are two men of God in this city. when they were singles, their churches were packed. Both of them are very close to our family. Packed. When they wanted to get married, they went back to their countries because both of them are not Kenyans. So they went back to their countries and brought wives. The day the wives arrived, church closed. I don't mean closing means that they close, you understand. I don't mean that church closed and they lock the door. But I'm sure everybody understands what I'm saying. In Africa, we speak in proverbs. So church closing means mass exodus. And the people that left were singles. They had to start all over to grow the church.
Wow.
And so when I heard about this, I wondered, I said, God, only God knows the heart of people when they come to us.
That's true. That's true.
And I'm wondering, but one pastor cannot marry 500 women. It has to be one.
Yeah, and they're hoping they're the ones.
All right. I think we are keeping it real.
Now, like you said, then you see it is a common phenomena. There's nothing about that. That is true. It is happening. And I think it will continue to happen. Just make sure you're not one of them.
Excellent. I think that is the advice.
Yes.
King Solomon said there is nothing new under the sun.
No.
So the only thing is that you must decide, I am not in that category.
Exactly.
When I'm in the church to serve God.
Exactly.
I am not in the church to pray that the wife of the pastor dies. Because there are those who may be wishing that the wife of the pastor dies so that they can take over that position. So you need to
for that reason, and the pastor like you're saying goes marries, then you will live such a bitter life. You'll be so, and you may even miss your miracle, because of the bitterness and the anger. So just be in church because you love the Lord and you are connected spiritually to that pastor, and you live a happy life. It happens to us.
But for you, you've had all the dreams. You met the brother in your vision. You met the brother in your dream. But the brother never said a word. All of a sudden, you hear announcement. This brother is getting married to this sister. Don't be bitter. And don't leave the church so that you stop seeing them. Don't leave the church. Your time will come. God is generous. And God does not have shortage of spouses, of people. He doesn't run shortage of them. Stay in the church and serve. Please serve like Reverend Joyce. Serve. Just keep serving. Even if your husband is not in your locality, God will bring the fellow from wherever the fellow is, and there will be a divine connection.
I'll call you one of these days to speak to. I am leading a big group of single ladies. If I invite you, will you come? They need to hear from you.
Why will I not come when you have come on my show twice?
Well, you're speaking wisdom, you're speaking like a mother, you're speaking like a pastor, and you're keeping it real. I like that. Because
I keep it real.
Discussing the things you're bringing out, nobody ever speaks about them. Like what you have just saying, it's not even maybe the pastor, it's a brother in church who you are eyeing, and then suddenly you hear he's getting married. Those things are happening, but nobody talks about them. And suddenly you see somebody, a lady is not in church again, and you think, what happened? And you never know, never tell you. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, by God's grace, we've been in this kingdom business for so many years. And so we know, Yeah, we have seen a lot. There is nothing new to me in the ministry. I hear things, I laugh, I say, leave those things, they will be tired. I see things, I say, leave those ones, let's move forward. It's just a wealth of experience and God's divine wisdom and maturity in the kingdom of God. I'm not just a pastor's wife, I'm also a pastor in my own right. So those things help us to build up a community of believers that have joy to serve God. They have sincerity of heart. They love people. They love God. And along the way, God meets them at the points of their needs. So as we close, how are you dealing with the grown-up children in the house? What is your relationship with them?
So let me say, to the point now when I was getting married, like I've said, by the grace of God, for me, I just served people and I loved people. I knew these are the bishop's children. I honored them as his children. And so, up to that point, there was never anything, bad blood between us. I had honored them, served them as the bishop's children. And one of the things the bishop, I remember very early on in our marriage, he told me concerning the children. And remember, at this point, they are all out of the house and they all have their own homes. So I didn't meet any children in their home. But I remember what he told me, and which is what to today keeps me going. He just told me what you do with these children, just develop a friendship with them. You'll be fine. Develop a friendship with them. Be their friend. He didn't try to tell me to be their mother. Because I am not their mother. That one, we know, they know, I know. So what he told me is develop a friendship with them. And so what I have done, what I have endeavored, to now is just to be their friend. And you know what a friend then means is, I treat them well. I want to find out how are you. If I have something I can share with them, I'll share with them. I will invite them home. I will prepare meals for them. Whatever it is that I could do to a friend, I do it unto them. And I respect them. I respect them. Maybe I cannot think of a time when I had to sit down with the bishop and tell him, your children, they're doing this. I don't think, and none is coming to my mind. So that even if there was anything, I would even choose just to be quiet about it, but I will not discuss his children, with him. Because I have purposed, I will keep that relationship, a good relationship with them. And so to now, we have that kind of a relationship, of a friendship kind of a relationship. And again, what has helped also is that they are, like I said, they're married, so they have their own homes. So when we meet, which is in a while, then it is always a joy to be able to see one another. Sometimes we'll not even see each other until Sunday because we are all in the same church. So whenever we see each other, it's a joy. And one of the things we know is their mom rested, their mom is with the Lord. I am not their mom, I am not their mom. So for example, I don't expect that they'll call me mom. No.
What did they call you?
Sorry?
What do they call you?
Pastor Joyce, Lady Joyce. I like it when the daughter calls me Lady Joyce. She calls me Lady Joyce. The daughter will call me Mrs. Karaoke. I'll call her Mrs. Kirui. The elder son, it's interesting with the elder son is that even before I got married, remember I'm Joyce and their mom was Joyce. So
before their mom Joyce.
Yes. So before I got married, he used to, like, I don't want to say jokingly because I don't know what it was that God was doing, but he used to call me mom. That is before I got married. But he used to call me mom because I am Joyce and the mom was Joyce. So he kind of say it because I'm called like the mom. So you just like, hi mom. That is before I ever got married because we're in the same church. So now even after I got married to the wife, the mom just continued. It didn't stop. So the elder son just calls me mom. The daughter will say Lady Joyce, Mrs. Karaoke, and the son will call me Pastor Joyce, Reverend Joyce. So, and for me, we have that relationship, a very cordial, very lovely, very peaceful. I respect them, they respect me. They are very lovable children, children who have been brought up well by their parents. They are not children also, we say like this, I don't know if you understand that. They are
I do
not.
very well.
No, they have been brought up well by their parents. So they know boundaries, they know respect, and we just love each other. All to the glory of God. Again, when I look at that, God had planned all that way in time. Just know this, God plans out your life and he put things in place for you. That's why he said, make sure that decision you are making, it is of God. He has laid out the plan for you, sorted out anything that needs to be sorted before you step in there.
Reverend Joyce, you have brought an aspect that I have never heard of before, and I'm sure many people are listening and they are getting to understand that this show, my goodness, should transform lives. You said you know you are not their mother and you don't want to pretend that that is the shoe you want to wear. And you decided, I will be their friend. And you are saying you can't be their mother. So you decided to be their friend. I think that is where the problem could be in some homes. Maybe somebody is married into a home, a widow has married a lady into a home, and the fellow comes with the issue of, I am the mother of these children. You know your own cases that children are grown. There could be children that are small. And so we have this problem of a stepmother that is very unreasonable, to little children, by handling them. And if the woman has her own children, you will begin to see favoritism, you begin to see fight, and before you know it, those children want to leave home. They just want to leave home because as far as they are concerned, we can't stay under this woman who does not treat us as a mother. So I think when you come into a home like that, and you come in to marry a widow, if the children are still within the bracket age where you need to nurture them, you need to nurture them like their mother. You need to nurture them, let them not miss their mother's presence so much. Of course, nobody can ever fit in the shoe of a mother. It is impossible. My mother is a mother. So when you come in, by God's wisdom, ask God for wisdom. Let the children fit in. There are children that no matter how you treat them, they will find fault. You know, they will find fault because they are feeling that a stranger has interrupted their system in the house. So, yeah. So in that case, again, the wisdom of God is profitable to direct. You will pray, do what you can do. The Bible says, having done all to stand, stand therefore. Do your part. Leave God to do the rest. But when you come into a home that the children are over 18 years of age, they can make decisions for themselves. They know how their mother was before the mother went to be with the Lord. You have heard from Reverend Joyce. Don't come in and think, I am their mother, and they are telling you, you are not our mother. You are saying, I'm your mother. Then at the end of it, they are telling you, you are not our mother, because you have heard now that the daughters are calling her Pastor Joyce. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, and just on your point, because now I know a lady like you're saying who now she met very young children, and so what she purposed, like you said, is to be like a mother. She didn't tell them to call her mother, but she purposed to be like a mother, loving and taking care of them like she would with her children. And she was giving me this testimony that years later, 2-3 years later, one day she comes home and one of the kids just says, "Hi, Mom." And she tells me she almost fell down because they had never called her mom. She had never told them to call her mom, but she just loved them like her children. So it is them who began calling her. And now they are older. But she says she was actually shocked. She just came in and one of the girls says, "Hi, Mom." And she said, "Mom," she was, but it's because she had loved them and had treated them Well,
she acted
so
like a mom to them.
like you said, just love on them and do what you can do, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm trying to give that age bracket. When
Yes.
you come into a home where the children are young, make sure you play a mother to them so that they grow up knowing that even though our mom is not here, God gave us another mom. And they will treat you like a mom, respect you like a mom, and even in your old age, they will take care of you because you are the mom that nurtured them, okay? But if you come into a home where people are already married, already having their own mindset, don't impose your motherhood on them because they will resist it. They will resist it. So the best thing that we have had from Reverend Joyce now is become their friend. Play a friendship relationship with them. Whatever they decide to call you, they can call you Mrs. So, they can call you Pastor So, they can call you Auntie, they can call you anything, or yes, they can say Auntie because of age. They can call you Ma. Like in Nigeria, we use a lot of Ma. How are you, Ma? God bless you, Mama. That is a mark of respect. Whatever they call you, the most important thing is make sure that you create an atmosphere of peace and unity in that family. Promote unity as much as possible because, again, the father will not want to disengage with his children.
No,
Because of you, correct. Because of you, correct. Because you see, especially African men love their children. No matter how old they are, they pride in their children. They pride in their children. So when you come in and you want to make sure that they don't call their children, when you hear them calling, it's like, what are you doing? Or you are giving more attention to the children than to me. You are digging your own grave. Because at the end of the day, you are making this man to feel bad. That for God's sake, what did this woman come to this house to scatter my house? And this man will not leave you for the children because that is his posterity. So we need the wisdom of God to be able to balance all these things. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an awesome moment. We have kept it real. We have not hidden anything from you. It is like the one Paul says, I have not hidden anything from you. From the time we began to preach to you, we have not hidden any truth from you. We have kept it real. We have brought our homes to the public domain. Peradventure, we can help one family. We can help one sister. We can help one brother. I'm sure somebody may be wondering, Pastor Esther and Reverend Joyce, you didn't talk about widowers. You know, I mean, women that remarry, their husbands have died, widows who remarry, not the widowers now, the widows, because there could also be a situation where your husband is dead, you want to remarry. Somebody is asking, is it acceptable? Because society may crucify you. I want to let you know everything goes down to what we've been talking. Consult God.
That's right.
Consult the author of marriage. God is the author and creator of marriage. He has a manual for marriage, and that is the word of God. So when you consult him and he tells you you can remarry, by all means, prayerfully remarry, knowing you are in the will of God. But I normally advise widows, when you are remarrying and the marriage, the previous marriage had children, my dear, think very well. Think very well. Ask yourself, am I willing to part with my children to go to another place and answer another surname? And my children are answering another surname? How does that impact me overall? When you now ask all those questions and you get an answer of peace, that all is well. If your children are grown up, consult them. Sit down with them at the table. Tell them your intentions. See how they feel. Their feelings and their, feedback will let you know whether you're actually walking the right way or you are about to ruin your life. Because if those children leave you, then you go to a new man and you have issue there. You will be in the middle of nowhere. Neither there, neither there. So every decision we make in life has consequences. Consequences. And that's why God must be at the center of every decision. And once God is at the center, we are safe and secure. Thank you so much, audience, for being with us. This is our final show with Reverend Joyce. That does not mean in the future we will not come together to engage, to speak, but we are just saying for this aspect of her story, we don't want to go deeper than that, because at the next time we talk with her, it should be purpose now, not marriage. How are you fulfilling purpose? What are you doing in church? How are you promoting the ministry that God has put in your hands? Are you finding fulfillment and all those stuff? How does ushering department affect what you're doing now? Is there a relationship between what you did in the past? We need to know how purpose meet each other on the road. So that will be the next time when we meet. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
About that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for being our audience. Please remember to share. Don't leave this place without sharing. Don't forget, tomorrow again, 8 p.m. is time for prayer. We love prayer. Pastor Prince and Pastor Esther live by prayer. We are products of prayer. We can boast of what prayer can do. And our lives without prayer, we would have been a loaf of bread in the kingdom. But we thank God that God has made us strong through prayer. So join me tomorrow in my prayer time, 8 p.m. on the House of Obededon. On Wednesday, I'll be live again on the Facebook of Redeemed Christian Church of God, teaching on the book of Ecclesiastes. We are going to finish chapter 2 on Wednesday, 5 p.m. live on RCCG page. You can't afford to miss it. Many of you ask me, you are loaded with wisdom. Glory be to God. But this wisdom, you have to seek for wisdom. Wisdom does not just come looking for you. You search for it. You look for it. Sometimes it's far, but you have to spend time and energy to get it. And that's where God is impacting us with wisdom. So Wednesday, join me 5 p.m. on RCCG page. Friday, join Daddy Prince, my husband, on the hour of prayer with Pastor Prince on his Facebook page. 8 p.m. Pastor Prince Obasi-ike's Facebook page. On Sunday, the church will reopen. Harabasatayaba. For the first time, Rekuri Bazantaya Mashekaya. For the first time, on Sunday, the doors will be open. The floodgates of heaven will be open. The gates will be open. And David said, I rejoice. Esther Obasi-ike said, I rejoice. When they said unto me, let's go into the house of the Lord, for there is something that makes me to come into your presence, my helper. So on Wednesday, we'll be having, on Sunday, we're having 2 services. The first service will be 9 to 10:30. Earlier today, I had said that the second service will start at 10:45. But my husband changed it, and his decision is better. He said the second service should be 11. Let us leave 30 minutes for people to exit and come in, because that 15 minutes will be so rowdy, which is correct. So we go for his. We go by his own instruction. So the second service will start exactly 11 a.m. and close by 12:30 on Sunday. Don't forget, all COVID protocols, COVID-19 protocols, strictly adhered to, and we are prepared for you. Then on Sunday evening, 8 p.m., the Shaggers will be on stage. The Shaggers, I see Satan fall like lightning. Jesus speaking in Luke chapter 10, he said, I see Satan fall like lightning. Hey, I see him fall in the lives of drug addicts. I see him fall in the lives of alcoholics. I see him fall in the lives of womanizers. I see him fall in the lives of people. You listen to Sister Chege, Joan Chege, and see how a prayerful woman can turn around situations. See you on Keep It Real on Sunday, 8 p.m. It's with joy now that I bring this show to a close as we give the woman of God a round of applause. And if you're in your home, stand up and give her a round of applause together with Bishop Mark Karaoke and Deliverance Church International. Wait. Kenya type. Thank you so much, my sister. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mama. Thank you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the viewers. I appreciate you calling me to speak in this show. And I pray that my story has been a blessing to somebody today. And I'm looking forward to joining you next time when you call me. Babisha will be calling you also soon to speak to the single ladies I'm leading. And also to all of you, receive the bishop's greetings. He asked me also to pass his greetings. So receive them, and always remember one thing I leave you with: God is faithful, ever faithful. That's what you ought to remember.
Amen. And Rev Joyce, by the time the church gets back to the usual way, of course, there can never be usual way. We are going better. When the church comes back, where conferences are allowed in big numbers with your perseverance in the kingdom, your tenacity in the kingdom, the services you're rendering, especially to the Redeemed Church of God singles and to Queen Esther's Generation singles, I salute you. I love you, Nyafu. And I'm sure sooner than later, you shall all be settled by the signature of God. God bless every one of you, and have a pleasant night.
Good night. God bless you.
Good night. And please, everybody share.